I just finally got done watching all 10 Planet of the Apes movies in this wonderful franchise, and I thought right now is the best time to tell you guys my ranking. At number 10, we got this. I don't know what we're going to call this. It's a Planet of the Apes movie. It stars Mark Wahlberg. It's directed by Tim Burton. This is the worst thing I think that has been ever made in this franchise. It's a disgrace. It's tarnishes the legacy in this, and Mark Wahlberg has the worst performance of all time in this movie and probably in his career. Only good thing in this movie is Tim Roth has stayed. Besides that, this movie is doo-doo. It's garbage. Number 9, we got Beneath of the Planet of the Apes. So this is the second movie in the Planet of the Apes franchise, and this literally is a shot-to-shot remake of the first one in the first half. And the second half that ended, I don't know what they wanted to do with this franchise after this first great movie that they done back in 1968. But this movie, it was bad. I couldn't get through it. I actually finished it though, but it was hard to get through. So just beware, you guys, if you ever want to watch this. At number 8, we got Battle for the Planet of the Apes. So coming off a great sequel and Conquest for the Planet of the Apes, I was thinking how they going to end this franchise, and they done it on a bad note. This pacing was rushed. This story was bland. The human characters were so unlikable in this. The only good thing in this movie was the storyline for the apes, but we didn't even get that much of the story in it. And overall, I'm glad they rebooted this franchise because this would have been a bad note to leave on for this original franchise. At number 7, we got Escape for the Planet of the Apes. This movie is really good for the trilogy that they were going for. They go back in time to, I think it was the 1970s. I like the dynamic between the humans and the apes here, but that ending, it makes me so mad. But the final scene sets up so much for the future of this franchise. But overall, what I think hurts this movie so much is still the pacing. The pacing of these older movies was not that great besides the first one, and I really wish they done better, but of course with these new movies they have fixed that. At number 6, we got Conquest for the Planet of the Apes. This is the best sequel to the original Planet of the Apes franchise, and this is the start of Caesar's story and his revolt against the humans. And this Caesar reminds me a lot of Koba in the current Planet of the Apes franchise, especially what has happened through him from his past till now. But that ending scene and that speech that Caesar gives is motivational and it will lock you in for those final 5 minutes of that movie. At number 5 is Rise of the Planet of the Apes. So this is the first movie in the rebooted Planet of the Apes franchise that came out back in 2011. I really like the story of Caesar in this, and not only that, the sprinkle of Easter eggs from this original franchise into this movie was perfection, perfect. But overall, the only thing that hurts this movie is I wish Matt Reeves directed this movie, because everything in this movie is so much different from Dawn and War of the Planet of the Apes. But this is the only thing that hurts this movie. But overall, I really enjoyed this movie. At number 4 is the original Planet of the Apes from 1968. I really enjoyed this movie. I like what they done back in 1968 with this original story. And by the time you get to this ending and realize what the ending is, it will leave you shocked. I kind of wish I didn't know what the ending was going into this movie. I bet you people back in 1968 were shocked by the time they got to the end of this movie. And number 3 is the newest film to this Planet of the Apes franchise, Kingdom of the Planet of the Apes. I think the story was awesome. It set up Caesar's legacy so perfect. The sprinkle of Easter eggs from that original trilogy into this was awesome. I think Wes Ball did something special with carrying the legacy on not only of Caesar, but he brought the themes of Rise, Dawn, and War into this movie, of the light and darkness from those movies into this. He created a good villain in Proxima Caesar, and I think him and Owen Teague as Noah's going to do great in this trilogy. At number 2, we got War for the Planet of the Apes. This is a great conclusion to Caesar's trilogy. This movie has so much emotion and will probably make you really emotional, not only from the ending, but this whole entire movie. This makes Caesar Caesar. This builds up his legacy and makes him seem like the true leader he is. I think it's a great thing that Matt Reeves did this movie to close out this trilogy. But number 1, we got the best movie in the Planet of the Apes franchise, Dawn for the Planet of the Apes. This movie is phenomenal. Matt Reeves took this franchise over with this movie, and he turned it on its head. Koba as a villain in this movie was phenomenal. Toby Kebbell is an underappreciated actor for this role, and he should deserve more credit for this role. But that line, Caesar weak, Koba weaker. Woo! That line is just clean. It solidifies that Caesar is one of the most dominant characters and best characters in this franchise, hands down. And that is why I love Dawn of the Planet of the Apes.